You're live.
And John, wasn't Sage's uncle chief? George Sage? Okay.
We're live now.
All right, folks, we're live. Good evening, Shamokin. We apologize for the delay. We had some technology issues here with getting online. Doreen was just able to fix them, and we are live now on our YouTube channel. We'll be calling the meeting to order of the City of Shamokin Council, March 8th, 2021, 7 p.m. We're actually getting a 7:10 start. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll have a brief moment of silence that Scott will speak about after the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and
During tonight's moment of silence, if you could keep Kevin Malukas' family in your prayers. He was called Township Chief 102, who served as the Township Chief for many years and in the fire department for many years. The guy was great. He was selfless, would help anybody, would help the city of Shamokin at calls anytime, day or night. A lot of times he was there before any of the Shamokin units even got there. So if we could keep his family in our prayers. Thank you.
You have something for Tony?
Oh, yes. We'd also like to ask that everybody keep the Verano family in their prayers. He was a lifelong fixture in this city, crossing guard for many years, a dedicated volunteer, and a sentinel of Mother Cabrini Church. And we just ask that God grant him eternal rest and may perpetual light shine upon him, and that his faithfully departed soul, through the mercy of God, rest in peace.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Slavy.
Councilwoman Moyer.
Here.
Councilwoman Seidel.
Here.
Councilman Welton.
Here.
Councilman Verena.
Here.
And Mayor Brown.
Here, sir.
All present and accounted for.
Okay, with that, a brief explanation of last month, the council voted to start doing in-public meetings and be back down at Hill Road Square. Late in the week, last week, Mr. Slavy and I were provided with information that gave us some concern for the meeting tonight, for the safety and dignity of the meeting. I made the call to stay virtual for one more meeting until we have the opportunity to sit together with the chief of police and make sure that we can, again, maintain order at the meetings. With that, we'll move on with the meetings. My apologies to council for not being able to get with you. The information came in late after the ability to put a meeting together to make that decision. Alrighty, under bids. Request a motion to award the bid for the American Legion building as follows. 1, general contract. H&P Construction Incorporated in the amount of $27,770. Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? The only question I have, and we asked Mike Catino to be here tonight. Mike, you reviewed the bid packets and everything was proper and in order with that bid? Okay. Anyone else on the question? A roll call, Mr. Slavy.
Councilwoman Moyer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Seidel.
Yes.
Councilman Welton.
Yes.
Councilman Verena.
Yes.
And Mayor Brown.
Yes.
The motion carries.
The electrical contract to Page Electrical Services LLC in the amount of $15,800.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? Once again, Mr. Catino, everything was okay with the bid package, bid bond, and everything in order?
Everything is.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Mr. Slavy?
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Norton,
Yes.
Councilman Moreno,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Heating contract, LTS Plumbing and Heating with alternatives of 1 and 2 in the amounts of $57,780, $27,900, $1,750 for a total of $87,430.
Mayor, on the question.
Yes.
I don't believe they're the numbers that I heard the other night, unless I misunderstood something.
I have my pack here. I can. Fancy sheet that Mike Catino gave us. LTS Plumbing, I have 57,780. I have 1,550, and I have 875.
That's what I had. These numbers aren't even close to that.
No.
I'll clear that up for you. There were 18
Yeah,
alternate number ones,
right.
and there were 2 alternate number 2s.
Okay, I see that at the top.
Okay.
Okay, where it says
Yeah,
alternate
that's it.
number 1, it has parentheses 18, so I saw that.
Okay,
That's
that's where I didn't catch it.
Okay.
good question.
Did we get a motion and a second on that?
I'll second that. Oh, I'm sorry. So moved.
I made the motion.
Jennifer, and then Charlie?
Yeah.
Again, on the question, Mike, I thank you for explaining that, but the bid
Yeah.
package was all together, everything was,
Yeah.
Everything was fine with all of it.
thank you for reviewing that and making that sheet for us easy to
Yeah.
understand.
That's a big deal.
Any other questions? A roll call, Mr. Slavy?
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Norton,
Yes.
Councilman Moreno,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mike, it's not necessary for you to stay.
I've got a bad cold, so I.
Mike, I truly appreciate you being here because the item that Scott brought up, we would have been a mess if you weren't sitting here tonight.
Oh, okay.
Just follow the front door, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Catino.
The total amount of those bids were $131,000. That's a note. Correspondence, Mr. Slavy?
I have none.
That's good. No correspondence. Citizens' comments contingent upon items on the agenda, which there's a lot.
I'm gonna open up the chat.
Yes,
For
Doreen will
comments?
be opening up the chat at this time. We'll give you a few minutes to put your comments in. I don't believe the delay is near as long on this as they are on the Facebook site, so it shouldn't take as long.
Doesn't seem like it
Give you folks a few minutes to get your comments in. Anybody have anything for better or it's good in the order while people are getting their comments together?
How do I get?
I guess I can throw out to you, I haven't been giving you folks reports on the vehicular traffic from the Anthracite Outdoor Adventure area for probably the last 2 meetings. The trail into the city has been closed with the heavy snow. They deemed that it was too dangerous to open anything up and have people coming through the narrow passageway into the city. We're hoping there are still some ice areas that they haven't closed yet. We're hoping with the warm weather that the riders will be able to come in and attend our businesses once more starting this weekend. But that depends on the trails, not us. Brenda, did you say you had?
I did. At the workshop, I very proudly gave a report on how many people, Mike Williams and myself have added when we did. Thank you very much for the tax rolls. And at that time, I had no time at all to figure out any numbers. We've only been collecting taxes. Very, very busy. But I ran some numbers quickly this afternoon. And from June 1st to December 31st, we added $20,126.81. In 2 months, January and February of this year, we added $2,599.85. So that gives a total of $22,726.66 for the city. For the school, from June 1st to March 8th, we added $33,540 to the tax roll. And that's what they would pay, for a total of $56,266.66. Hopefully next week, we are planning on printing out more bills for the extra additions that we have added in the past few weeks. So we'll definitely hit over our 60.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the update.
Who's watching? What they're doing?
I have him up here.
Okay, folks, Doreen's trying to do an awful lot here for us with keeping us on camera, and she's also monitoring comments now. So we're going to do our best to make sure everybody gets addressed. Are there anything for agenda items?
Yes, there is one item here for agenda items. The question comes from Joe Lashinsky. I see there is quite a few raises on the agenda tonight, given the city's financial issues and requesting home rule charters from voters or $5 million loans. How has the city officials worked to close the $800,000 potential loss when we exit Act 47?
If you'd like to.
I was prepared to ask council and you to table that tonight. The table the raises, not because we don't want to give the raises, but until we see how things go in May, further down the road and with our budget. So I was going to request that, but being that Mr. Lashinsky brought it up, no use in waiting until it comes on the agenda. So I would ask council at this point, I'd like to table it for tonight.
Mayor,
Not because of anything personal, I just think we should just table it so it can be fair to everybody. And, you know, I'm gonna say that they will see some kind of raise, but not right now. That's my suggestion for tonight. I don't know how anybody else feels.
Mayor, on that as well, I noticed in the proposal here that it says about fees being collected and potentially offsetting the initial loss that you would take on it. Frank, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe you can use the code enforcement as a source of income to offset your budget. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's what we posed in the question. I mean, if he's not satisfied with that answer, I don't know what else I can say, but I think that'd be my suggestion for tonight. Just table.
Okay.
Because none of us do know exactly what's gonna happen. But I would like to say this, just so everybody, the public understands, our employees have been doing a heck of a job and have not gotten raises. That's the only reason why this was being considered. So I just want to make the public aware of that. And we've all, I don't know how anybody else feels, but $8.50 an hour, $9 an hour, just isn't, you know, that's below poverty. So I don't want them to think that we're not going to consider this here, but I think that's my suggestion for tonight. I don't know how the rest of the council feels.
So will the new hires be hired at 10 above what the employees that we've employed for 6, 7, 8 years are making well under $10 an hour?
I think we should. Just for now.
So I don't think that's fair. My opinion, but we have very good employees here that have been here for
understand
years.
that, but I'm not in favor of giving one person a raise and not the other either.
I absolutely
That's
agree.
unfair also.
I think you're right. I
I mean,
absolutely
I'm
agree.
not trying to take sides in this for anybody. I know how I would feel. If I was making $8.50 an hour, I'd be up here raising my hand every meeting to the council and say, how would you like to live for that? And I understand their feeling. I'm going by what's going on right now in Shamokin. And for those who you don't know, I'm in charge of the street department. We've had a very bad winter. I'm not crying poverty, but I just discussed this with the mayor. I pretty much got to walk the line the rest of the year. And I got 9 more months to go. You know, and I'm not trying to take it out on anybody. That was an act of God that we got it, but I just can't see myself tonight, even though we discussed it, of saying across the board, give everybody a raise and make it $10 an hour. I feel bad about that, but I have to, that's my feeling. I'll put it for right now, put it first. I mean, if others disagree.
I don't have a vote, but I agree with
Well,
you.
as long as we know,
I mean-
we have all been discussing the fact that employees, yes,
Yeah, go ahead.
in the city of Shamokin have long overdue raises come. And, it certainly came to our attention that, there was an opportunity perhaps to do that. I don't think anyone on council wants to raise, the rate for some and not for all. That's never been the intention. And, this kind of brought everything to the fore. I understand everybody's concern, but somehow we always come up with the money to do what we seem to want to do. And believe me, I'm the last person who wants to throw the budget off kilter, but I think this has been under discussion for a long time. I have no problem if council is concerned enough that it wants to table and, this was never a strong arm tactic in any way. This was here's what we discovered when we actually took a look at the numbers, and Councilwoman Seidel was kind enough to crunch those numbers and run the numbers. But I think we've all been discussing, how we could make this come about. So this, report that was submitted to all of you at the workshop is a result of that. Councilwoman.
No disrespect,
concern-
Mrs. Moyer, but, I never received anything as far as being a treasurer. I don't know if Doreen did. Have you seen anything financial on the numbers that Mrs. Seidel done?
Where do you think I got the information from?
I didn't
I'm
see the
asking.
actual report that she put together, but provided her with the numbers to put
I was not included.
I understand that feeling.
I wasn't included, and I don't think it's fair to hire somebody new for $10.
Okay, no, actually, I'm sorry, but everybody had an opportunity to be a part of these interview committees and do everything you have to say in this. And I actually put the time in and I did it. So I'd like to explain before we go further down the rabbit hole. We were asked to do this. I gave up time and we came in and said $8.50 an hour. That was not our call. That was an opportunity given to us by DCD, Act 47, Ryan Hottenstein. They were the ones that threw that number on the table. We were content to move ahead at the $8.50 because the issue at the heart of this entire matter is staffing City Hall. I'm not trying to be argumentative, but I don't know if anybody's noticed that employees are flying out the door and we're not doing anything to bring them back in. And I don't understand how this place is supposed to run if there are no employees. So that's the first issue. As to the $10 an hour, okay, if you're saying Act 47 is wrong, if you're saying DCD is wrong, that we shouldn't have competitive wages, I understand that, but we still have the staffing issue at hand that has to get taken care of. But going on the recommendation of those entities who we all seem to look to and take their information and seem as if it's the Bible and that's how we have to go by it, those were the numbers we used. Using their numbers, we went back to them and said, you cannot have a new rate for new hires while employees are still making what they were making. An issue was raised by the chief of police about his 3 employees over there. And I was focusing on the task at hand that I and Mrs. Moyer and Bob were given to do. So when the chief's issue was raised, and it was not a slight, Brenda, the chief came and had a conversation. We then took that into consideration because they're right. $8.50 an hour for what they've been doing. And just so there's no, we're not being transparent, the rate is actually $8.59 right now. So they would go up to the $10 because there should be pay equity across the board. Every employee deserves the right to make the same thing, especially if they've been here longer than people were pulling in. And I fully support your staff being a part of that whole process. My concern with your staff was that you have 3 separate funding sources. And if there was a letter of support in front of us from those funding sources, the spreadsheet set up, we can put your information in. And I think you and I spoke and we ran it and it was $1,953 just from the city.
Split between the 3 municipalities, which means the city would pay $631 a year. A year.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying.
But
How
I
could
have
we
to
not
wait
support
until I
that?
get, letters back from the county and the district for $630.
I think that we would be remiss
And-
with two other taxing bodies, Brenda, not making
I
sure
sent
that
the
they
letters
support
out
it.
today, if everybody checked their email.
We
I sent
did.
it to the county
And
and the school.
that's wonderful, but back to
But-
the issue at hand. We are,
For the record, I was not included ever, and I did not know this was coming up in an executive session the other night in a meeting. No, not one person told me. Not one. That's why I was so very upset when I seen this agenda. That's why I was very upset. And this has been worked on for weeks, and nobody told me.
I understand that feeling, as I said, Brenda, being surprised at meetings about things that go on I don't know about. And, but certainly the intention was never to do that.
Brenda, no offense, I've been here, sitting here 7 years, and I've been surprised at any meetings. If everybody wants to start speaking, I've been here for 7 years, and there's been times I haven't been shown respect. I found out what the last, I'm not
No,
criticizing
this
you
isn't
or
against you, but what happens now when the other employees walk out? Because new ones are getting 10, and they're not getting raised. If DCED is allowing us to give new people $10 an hour, why can't the employees that we already have get $10 an hour?
But what makes you think that we would be against that?
Yeah.
You're gonna table it now, but you're gonna hire 2 people tonight at 10.
The intention, Brenda, excuse me, I think the intention of the council is to, I know the mayor has expressed this to me, wait until May the 18th and get past the primary election.
That's what we're doing. So we're gonna wait till May to hire somebody? Hopefully my people don't walk out, because if they do, oh well, everybody's gonna wait on
No, I
mine.
think-
I don't believe,
Okay,
Brenda, I don't believe
maybe.
anybody said about waiting till May 18th to hire, and I don't think
No.
anybody said that their starting rate is gonna be $10 an hour.
No, I think if I understood Mr. Verano correctly, the starting rate would be left at $850.
Yeah, wait, what?
I think if I understood Mr. Verano, as the motions are being made, the starting rates would be listed at $850 until further discussion of the possibility of increase. If I understood you correctly, right?
Well, then that's fair. That's fair. That's fair to Darv's employees and to my employees. Thank you very much.
Brenda, that's all I was trying to state. I was not,
No, I'm not upset with you at all.
As
Ms. Seidel did do a good job.
I didn't say she didn't. I just wasn't included.
as we hit each individual
As I
line.
said, there's times I'm not included, but I'm only speaking for me. I just felt this was I'm not saying by no means, none of these employees, I'd be screaming at every meeting also. 850 is intolerable. Absolutely. I just felt looking at it tonight, we have enough animosity and enough problems. You got about 6 to 8 weeks. That's it. Why not? Instead of opening a big can of worms, we have enough turmoil in Shamokin right now. That's all I'm trying to do. Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
that's, I don't know if you're thanking me, but I appreciate it. I just-
On that, I don't understand how it took losing a secretary, and a code officer for Act 47 to finally say, yeah, you gotta pay him more. They've been being told that since I came on this council.
Very good.
I know, but I'm sorry, I just have to point out the irony that now we are trying to pay them while we're tabling it. I just had to point out the irony there.
And just a little more fill in for you for the questions are, one item that was missed on the new agenda, resignation that should be on there that I will be adding as we read. We have had several resignations in meeting with DCED and the state team with taking away from full-time positions and putting in part-time positions. It did free up money for us to be able to, within the budgetary amounts, to increase salaries from $850 to $10 an hour. So it wasn't anything that was being added to, it was being worked within the numbers that were already there with the losses that we've suffered, we were able to take benefit packages and change them into salary amounts and stay within our budgeted amounts. That's the reason for that. It was discussed at length in a phone call conversation here with the state team 4 weeks ago. I'm going to say 4 weeks ago now. And that was their recommendation at that time. That's why it was on the agenda to be discussed at the workshop. Some of council wasn't even at the meeting, and probably the first time they heard about raises and increases was at the workshop also. Unless you were at that meeting, you wouldn't have known it. We don't have private secret meetings to let people know about what we're talking about. We do it at our workshops. Anybody else? But hopefully that question was answered. Any other ones, Doreen?
No.
Thank you. I think that was enough for everybody to get theirs in. If there was any others, I need a motion to accept the minutes of the City of Shamokin Council meeting, February 8, 2021, our regular meeting.
So. I'll second that.
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? Roll call, sir.
Councilwoman Moyer, Councilwoman Seidel,
Yes.
Councilman Roten,
Yes.
Councilman Moreno,
Yes.
and Mayor Bennett.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Motion to approve the bills from February 2021 as listed in your bill lists.
So moved.
Can't pay anybody if we don't approve them. Properly moved and seconded. Mr. Roten. Anyone on the question? Roll call.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Seidel,
Yes.
Councilman Roten,
Yes.
Councilman Moreno,
Yes.
and Mayor Bennett.
Yes.
The motion carries. We pay those bills.
Director's report, accounts and finance, parks and public buildings.
Thanks, Mayor.
The treasurer report.
No, I don't have it. Do I?
Thank you, Scott.
There you go.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Okay, back to, I'm sorry, accounts and finance.
Yeah, pardon me for that.
That's okay.
This is the report from the treasurer for the month of February. Total general fund balance, $466,393.84. Total motor license balance, $119,289.56. Total library balance, $7,359.33. Total capital projects balance, $5,951.47. Total sinking fund number one balance, $214,782.37. Total sinking fund number two recreation balance, $354,399.84. Total street lighting balance, $5.64. Total balance in all accounts to March 1st, 2021, $1,168,182.05, respectfully submitted by Brenda Scandal, Treasurer. Sorry about that, folks. I didn't have it in mind.
I apologize for my bad.
That's okay.
Thank you. Anything further?
Nothing there.
Parks and public buildings.
Thank you, Mayor. Earlier this week, I was brought a potential solution for the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, complete with maps drawn out that I'd like to share. I didn't have it in time for the workshop, but citizens have been diligently working on this, so I will be making copies of that up and getting it to everybody, and I'd like to send it to the Planning Commission and have them take a look at it. That is the first step, right? Set of planning. Have them take a look at a possible solution.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Right?
Are these renovations?
Can we force a change on public property or private?
It actually has to do with changing the direction of the street. Just that it might be a possible solution to change the direction of Black Commerce Street like we did. But it's beyond my technical capabilities, so Planning Commission would be the ones.
Right? Change the direction of the street?
I have had contact, well, we came up recently, and also with the owner of Lucky Donuts who would like to meet with you and PennDOT. My fellow tells her that this is a problem. So if you would please allow me to see what you have or discuss with you or with whoever, and my representative from PennDOT, and also Mr. Bowers, who owns Dunkin' Donuts.
I just didn't want to hold on to it. I got it and I'd like to get it out there. People are trying to work on it and come up with solutions, and I don't know what planning does and what zoning does, so I'm turning it over to the experts.
Is there plans to change the direction of the city streets?
Yes.
Right? Does that have to go through something you want to look at?
I have to go through something.
Because,
The consequences of that.
well, that's what I mean.
Everybody that lives on Commerce.
Right.
Okay.
It's not a bad idea, because, great a mess.
I don't know how you would do the entrance down by the old Whitmer Memorial would.
If you come that way, your issue is gonna be getting people out of their parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Moving it
yeah,
around.
yeah.
But like I said, I don't want to discount, any idea. I would like to hand it to the appropriate party,
Yeah.
acknowledge that I received it,
And
and
let them tell us how impossible.
Yes.
it is.
yes.
No,
So-
you're right. That is a very bad.
But it is a big concern.
Oh, yeah.
The second thing, I just wanted to, wish Shamokin warms my heart good luck and ask everybody to come out and participate. It's on March 27th, down between Heritage and the Indies. Please come out and have a great time. Stay warm. We started the lighting project in Shamokin. We actually got the creek switched over this weekend and we're working on poles now. And I'd also like to say, I hope the shenanigans are many and plenty and that everyone has a great time on 8th Street. So make sure you get out and see all the great things that are happening in our streets this coming month. And happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
Is that all? Thank you. Streets and public improvements. Basically, Mayor, all I have is a sweeper schedule to be approved. And it's basically the same. The only thing that will really be different is warning tickets, chief, would start April 6th to the 17th of April. The official ticketing for violators will begin on April 20th. April 20th. Mayor, the note also, the extra streets will be posted each day with temporary no parking signs. Cars should be moved by 8 a.m. and they will be notified ahead of time. That means all the streets like on Bunker Hill and so forth. But that's probably going to be later after the sweeper gets going, probably in April and May. That's basically all I got from my end, believe it or not. Winter's on, spring's near.
Surprise snowstorm on Saturday that came from nowhere.
Yes, they're kind of like that.
Yes.
Yeah. And this will be, if we put in the paper, right? Sorry,
Yes, it will.
that's all I have there.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Public safety, sir.
Total monies collected in the code office for the month of February were $18,667.71. There were 4. There were hazardous conditions with no fire were 5. Service calls 6. False alarms 3. Medical assist 1. Medical QRS 72. Total fire calls for the month of February 19. Total personnel 219. Total hours in service 177.04. Total non-fire department medical calls 72. Total calls were 91 for the month of February. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Chief, you have the police department report, sir.
Mayor, council, the police department statistics for the month of February 2021 are as follows: criminal complaints 27, traffic citations 47, non-traffic 1, parking 1, written warnings 18, 168 parking tickets, 756 number of calls, 3,528 miles patrolled, 2 code tickets, sir.
Thank you, Chief. Anything further?
No, sir.
Testing progressing with the police department?
We're in the process, yes.
You have it facing that way. You want me to do CEDACOG? CEDACOG?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'll go first. Betsy Kramer of CEDACOG. I handed everybody my monthly report. Just a few things I want to highlight on there. Attention to the businesses in the Shamokin area. Does not have to be the city of Shamokin area is fine. If you would like for me to meet with you personally to see how we can be of assistance for you, a lot of different opportunities right now, even beyond COVID. And then just contact me, B. Kramer at ceda-cog.org. Also, there is a new COVID relief grant. It's called CHIRP, but it is for only hospitality businesses. So restaurants, bars, hotels, B&Bs. So what this is, it's going to be in increments of 5,000 to 50,000. It's going to open March 15th. We will have on the city's website and goshmokin.com the link for the application. This one is for if you have lost revenue, which the other ones were not including. So this one you can use to help if you lost revenue. If you have already received funding through PPP or the other different kind of grants, as long as you are not trying to get, double dip the system per se, you will not be the top of the list. The top of the list will be the people who have not received any funding at all, but you are not excluded from this. So by all means, please apply for that. We're also working on a sustainability plan for the city. That will be due for June, and that is through DEP. And it's really to help maybe lower your energy costs, identify hazards, propose solutions, beautify city streetscape. So we're working on that right now. There's also 2 different grants for the Curbstone Market, which is the farmers market for the city. I've applied for a USDA EPA technical assistance grant, and I'm also applying this week for a PP&L Foundation grant for the Curbstone Market. And finally, we now have an investor prospectus packet. I have it in hard copy right now, and I will be dropping a bunch off to City Hall sometime this week, and we will also have it on digital form that you'll be able to download it. We'll have it on the city Facebook page or website, and also goshmokin.com. Any questions?
Hello, everyone. I would just like to let you know that this month I will be working on creating a request for proposals on your behalf so that we may use CDBG dollars to pay for the design and engineering on Illumination Station. It's exciting to see this project getting some feet underneath it. This is a first step, and I will be forwarding RFPs to list of qualified engineers, and the results will be presented to council for its action at the work session and then the April meeting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Linda, as we go through the new business, I'll be calling on you for some wording on a couple of motions if you didn't see it on the
Yes, absolutely. And I apologize that I was not here for Doreen in her hour of need.
That's okay. You're here and we'll get it taken care of. All right, anything else from CEDACOG, the pair? All right. Okay, for Mayan, folks, remember bi-weekly with Ryan Hottenstein tomorrow at 4:00. The entire state team usually is on the phone now. We get Susie and everybody else if you'd like to be here. They're available. I think that's all I have. There are going to be a couple of things added as we go through it that we'll catch up with. Alrighty, folks. Anyone else before I go to new business?
I just want to apologize to Doreen. I have my report in my car. So, I want to take full responsibility for that. I have it at home, and of course, I always go over it at home, but evidently I left it at home and I didn't see it. It was stuck inside,
Okay.
so I apologize.
I'm glad you.
Nothing on you, on me.
Okay, under new business, and this will be the first ad that we missed on here. Bob, I hope it's okay to put it first. Request a motion to accept the resignation of Kelly Sarosky, Code Secretary, effective date, Bob, that I don't have.
February 23rd.
That's correct.
Thank you.
So moved.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? Roll call, Mr. Slavy.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Rotman,
Yes.
Councilman Moreno,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Request a motion to accept the resignation of Doreen Annis, Administrative Accountant.
Reluctantly moved.
Reluctantly seconded.
Effective April 2nd, 2021. Properly reluctantly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question?
Don't want her to leave.
Roll call, Mr. Slavy.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell.
Yes.
Councilman Rotman,
Yes.
Councilman Moreno,
No.
Mayor Brown.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Charlie. No.
I mean it. I mean, it's not gonna stop.
It's irrelevant.
It's, I mean, how it is, but
I've talked to the chief. He would force her to show up for work. Thank you, Doreen.
Thank you.
Do we want to publicly say something right now?
Uh,
you know,
I think it would be a good time to. Don't want to.
I have to get her to get us through the rest of this
Yeah.
meeting.
You're not gonna find anything in there.
that's the scary.
Mrs. Moyer always carries Kleenex with her if you need. She's assisted me in the past.
Bob, you can come back out.
They've been
I
in there.
thought you were going in there for flowers. I'm like.
Those have been in there since the Boyer administration.
Believe me, if they're in there, they're dead.
I think those have been, Charlie, those have been in there since the Boyer administration.
They're not bad.
Yeah, you can keep it.
All right.
You're right, John.
All righty.
Thank you.
Request a motion to hire David Reed as code enforcement officer at a total compensation package, $36,000.
So,
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? Roll call.
Councilwoman Moyer,
yes.
Councilwoman Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Rotman,
No.
Councilman Moreno,
Yes.
Mayor Brown,
No.
3 days, 2 days, motion carries.
Mayor, if I may, I will explain why I voted no. It's not because I don't believe Dave Reed can do the job. He was actually the pick before we hired Chris White. My issue is that I don't believe it was done fairly with all the people that submitted applications. Because there were 3 people interviewed 1 or 2 people, 2 people interviewed 1 or 2 people, and I believe only maybe 1 person might have interviewed 1 person throughout the process. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, this is where if I get something wrong with what we decided, let me know. Request a motion. I guess we delete this altogether, but request a motion to ratify the 2/22/21 salary support staff for City Hall position secretary at a rate of $10 an hour. That will be tabled, or should we officially table it? It's mixed into a pile of different motions here, so I want to make sure we're clear.
Yeah, that's Michelle.
See,
Okay.
change that, so from $10 to $8.50 an hour, therefore putting her in line with the existing part-time employees.
Because it's an agenda item, should it be read and voted on, or how do we do it? To do it correctly. Okay. Request a motion to ratify 2/22/21, the salary of support staff for City Hall for a position of secretary at a rate of $10 per hour, 28 hours per week.
That's not right.
It's supposed to be $8.50.
I don't think I can change a motion on the agenda, is what I asked Mr. Kanaka.
Okay,
It needs to be voted on once it's on the agenda, correct?
we need to vote it down and then,
Yes, okay,
and then vote to table it, is that what you're saying?
yes, okay, I already read it.
Or to dilute lack of motion.
All right, okay. Cross that one off your list for lack of a motion. Request a motion to hire part-time code secretary at a rate of $10 per hour for 28 hours per week. Another one dead for lack of a motion. Request a motion to increase the base rate for 3 police station staffers, 1 part-time police clerk and 2 part-time meter clerks to $10 an hour for all 3 positions. Dies for lack of a motion. Request a motion to select an engineer for the Independence Street project. Linda, if you would guide us through the proper motion for this, please.
You would want to make a motion to award the contract for engineering for the demolition of 118, 120 East Independence Street to Peters Consulting. 122, excuse me.
Requesting that motion.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? Hearing none, a roll call, Mr. Slavy.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Saidel,
Yes.
Councilman Roten,
Yes.
Councilman Moreno,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Linda, there's a note here that there might need to be a second.
There is, if you remember at the work session, we discussed 2 engineering positions. The motion for the second is a motion to award the contract for 3 years of CDBG engineering for the city to Peters Consulting.
Second. Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? Roll call, Mr. Slavy.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Saidel,
Yes.
Councilman Roten,
Yes.
Councilman Moreno,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes. Do you need me to take a minute till you catch up? Hold on.
Those are my, those notes on the agenda were mine. I didn't want to put it out that way. I forgot it was on there.
It's okay, I'm just sorry I wasn't here when you needed me.
Yeah. Need to fix more.
If you would ask me that one.
I do.
Do that.
Oh, where were you today?
I was here.
Okay. We're back.
Would you allow me a comment, please, Mr. Mayor?
Sure.
I just want to make it clear that the reason I'm giving, that I gave the wording for the motion, but that council actually did the selection.
Yes. Yes, I just didn't want to try and repeat it and not get it correct and have to do it
Just
3 times.
wanting, for the record.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Okay,
Appreciate you having that for us.
I'm happy to do it.
All right, to take care of Bob, back to the motion for the young lady that's working downstairs, Michelle. Request a motion to ratify back to 2/22/21, the salary of support staff for City Hall for a position of secretary at the rate of $8.50 or $8.59?
$8.50.
$8.50 at 28 hours per week.
I'll second that.
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question on that?
Yeah, on the question there. Is that the rate at which she would have been paid when we initially decided to hire?
Yes. Yes.
Not 1 cent more, not 1 cent less.
And she has not been paid over that yet?
No.
No, sir.
Then why do we need this motion?
You need to ratify the expense. If you go by the fact that I have the hiring authority, I hired it, but you also, to spend taxpayers' money, council has to authorize it.
I thought it was already authorized months ago.
No,
We authorized that months ago, before the budget was altered. When COVID hit, last year we authorized that.
that would have gone back to May or June, when did you?
Yeah, it
when did you
was-
put Vicky on?
February.
Yeah,
Last year?
Yes.
February.
It was early last year. We already
Okay,
went through all this.
okay.
So,
Leave it open.
Go ahead, Charles.
okay, let's make sure we get it right.
Yes.
Frank, or is this correct then? So we can take this completely off? Just eliminate.
If that was already in the budget, I think it's an hour.
Because when we made budget modifications when the COVID hit,
Okay,
Act 47 said, you can't hire anybody right now because you made budget modifications. That's why you couldn't replace a guy that retired.
that's right.
And that's why we never brought her on, was because of that. But we had already gone through this and voted in
Thank
favor.
you for bringing
And
that
you've
to
actually
us.
already approved the budget and she's included in the budget for 2021.
Right. So, yeah, then basically we can scratch it.
Okay.
All right. Good thing you corrected this.
Thank you, folks.
You're right. You did it.
Request a motion to advertise the 2021 street sweeper schedule.
So moved, Mayor.
Second. Properly moved and seconded.
Councilwoman Moyer? Yes. Councilwoman Sidell?
Yes.
Councilman Rowland?
Yes.
Councilman Moreno?
Yes.
And Mayor Brown?
Yes.
That motion carries.
Okay, next page. Request a motion to update the curbstone market ordinance to update the language and change the fees, dates, and times to be set by resolution.
So,
I'll second that one.
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone have questions? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Moyer? Yes. Councilwoman Sidell?
yes.
Councilman Rowland?
Yes.
Councilman Moreno?
Yes.
And Mayor Brown?
Yes, sir.
Motion carries.
Request a motion for the A and B Children's Theater to hold an event at Claude Kaler Park, Saturday, May 22nd, 2021, 2 p.m. with a rain date of Sunday, May 23rd, 2021, 2 p.m.
So,
I'll second that, Mayor.
Properly moved and seconded. Any questions? Roll call.
Councilwoman Moyer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell?
yes.
Councilman Rowland?
Yes.
Councilman Moreno?
Yes.
And Mayor Brown?
Yes.
The motion carries. 5 yeas.
Request a motion for Music in the Park to hold a Rock the Block event on Saturday, August 14th, 2021, from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Claude Kaler Park.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? Roll call, Mr. Slavy.
Councilwoman Moyer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell?
Yes.
Councilman Rowland?
Yes.
Councilman Moreno?
Yes.
And Mayor Brown?
Yes.
Motion carries. 5 yeas.
Request a motion for Music in the Park to sell alcohol, craft beers and wines only at the Rock the Block event Saturday, August 14th, 2021, from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Claude Kaler Park, provided they provide the licensing and permits needed to do so.
So,
I'll second that, Mayor.
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question?
Councilwoman Moyer?
Thank you.
Councilwoman Sidell?
yes.
Councilman Rowland?
Yes.
Councilman Moreno?
Yes.
And Mayor Brown?
Yes.
Motion carries. 5 yeas.
Request a motion to suspend the open container ordinance for the Rock the Block event Saturday, August 14th, 2021, 11 to 9 p.m. at Claude Kaler Park in the specified event corridor.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? Should the event, what the event corridor is, be in the motion, or is that good enough?
Would that be sufficient?
To be determined.
That corridor hasn't been established yet.
It's the one we discussed at the workshop.
Yeah.
With them.
Okay, we just don't need that. That's okay. I'm good. Roll call.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Roten,
Yes.
Councilman Morano,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
The motion carries 5 yeas.
Request a motion to increase the music in the park budget by $2,000 from the recreation fund to support the additional entertainment at the proposed Rock the Block event on Saturday, August 14th, 2021, from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the Claude Kaler Park.
I'll second that.
Properly moved and seconded. Any questions? Roll call, Mr. Slavy.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Roten.
Yes.
Councilman Morano,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
No.
Motion carries 4 yeas, 1 nay.
Another added, folks, for the, that we didn't have on the list here, and I have to find it. We did talk about it, I think, 2 months ago. Rosalind Kane's cleanup day, so she gets it in within her 30-day window.
Easter. Close to Easter.
Rosalind Kane, at age 9, expressed her upset with the amount of trash and saw around the Shamokin and Cole Township area. She has to do a community cleanup during the month of April to make the streets look nice again. With the help of her family and friends, the first Rosalind Kane cleanup took place in April of 2012. Now at the age of 18, she is planning her 9th annual cleanup for April 24th, 2021 at 2 p.m. at Claude Kaler Park. Again, we have discussed this a couple of times. This is just the official request to be voted on so she can do it. Another longtime good kid this will be her last one for us, and she's leaving us.
She does a good job.
So we request a motion to approve the cleanup for Rosalind Kane, April 24, 2021, 2 p.m. Claude Kaler Community Park.
So moved.
Properly moved and seconded by everyone.
Yeah.
Any questions on Rosalind Kane? Okay. Roll call, sir.
Councilwoman Moyer, Councilwoman Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Roten.
Yes.
Councilman Morano,
Without a doubt, yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Motion
Something
carries
good for the
5
community.
yeas.
Okay. The notes here say this is going to need some discussion. We had a request from Covered Bridge to be on the agenda for Friday nights. And he sent some type of a modification to what we discussed at the workshop meeting. I don't have it.
I have something here if I can read it. I spoke with Eric and Cindy down at Covered Bridge and told them that we were willing to do the 3-month trial. We would vote on it on Monday. However, with the styling place being open till 5, 6 to 11, I believe I told them was what we were thinking of for this trial period.
Yes.
And I got a message back from them that said, we think we would actually like to switch to Saturday. I talked to Jeannie Schaefer as well, and she agreed. So we have more time and flexibility with organizing. We suggest noon to 10 for events, and we will be cleaned up by 11. We'll have different events during the day and maybe have live entertainment starting earlier at night. Any questions or concerns, please let them know. So they're requesting to move from the last Friday of the month to last Saturday of the month. Yes, the styling place, Robert Styling, is open until 5 p.m. on Fridays.
So then it doesn't affect anybody, what you're saying on 8th Street.
He has no Saturday hours? Okay. And I shouldn't,
I
Oh,
didn't,
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
verify that. They told me he did not.
Didn't used to have Saturday hours, I don't know.
He told me he was
anymore, but-
closed on Saturday. I don't personally did not look that up to be certain.
Question there, now, is this the official time and also, remember when we get home, is this gonna be the official time?
They're asking from noon till 10. So it's up to you guys. Last Saturday of the month. We had agreed, I believe, during the workshop that we were gonna give them a 3-month period, trial period of April, May, and June. That's what was discussed.
Chief says, you don't see no issues with it on the trial run, and like I said, I did speak with the street foreman, and there's really no expense to the city, and they pretty much clean up themselves. There's no-
There's a closing Water Street, or
8th
closing
Street,
8th Street
just
for
that one
Water
block.
Independence.
It's just that one block.
Yes.
there's no other.
How are they gonna control their parking? Cars coming and going, car parks
That would be the only issue.
Friday night and
Yeah.
Wednesday in the morning, it's, well, Wednesday at noon.
Well,
Saturday at noon.
That was one of the issues that were discussed at the workshop, that
Stop doing that.
because the meters are there and it is taggable for them for some of that time, that we bag meters? I think we decided we weren't bagging meters every to accommodate that. If somebody was parked in there
They
when the
bag
street was
meters, they
shut down,
should pay the fee for 8 hours per meter.
they would have to accommodate, yeah.
Other than that, I believe Councilman Roman said, if you go for cars parked there, you have to allow them to get out.
Yes.
I mean, as long as they can make accommodations for vehicles that can
Yeah.
get and park there from the night before, I don't see any.
I agree. We should specify that in there, with the accommodation of, if your car is in there, you know, you have to allow them out.
I think the council. I'm wrong. Us to be compensated for the use of those meters.
If we're gonna bag them and not allow people to park there on that day, I think it should be, it's the same as if someone gets a dumpster and puts it where there's a meter, they have to pay the.
Is it the same for the doo-wop and the Heritage Festival when we shut the meters down for the day?
That's true.
Now, granted, this is gonna be a regular thing. It's not just a one event a year that you can suck it up and not tag. But
Once again, Mayor, I think what we gotta look at, we gotta be fair to everybody. If we're not gonna do it for one, then we don't do it for anybody. That's what I look, I mean, seriously, I don't think it's fair to tell one business establishment to do it, and then we allow someone else to just do what they want. That's how I feel. It should be across the board.
I'm assuming.
Do we also have to suspend the open container ordinance for them? While they have outside seating, I don't believe they're permitted to carry it out in the street and across the street and everything else either.
Not under the current governor's orders, regulating drinking and eating outside. We had this discussion, in the past, but you got a point.
And
again, there was gonna be 1 o'clock Taylor.
And again, just to be across the board, did we have an open container request for Shamokin Warringer Heart? Or the West End Block Party? Or the Independence Block Party? And not because we didn't do things in the past means it was right not to do it. Let's make sure we do it right if there's a question here now.
I agree. I believe this fair across the board to everybody.
Yes.
That would.
So I agree with
It should be.
Yeah, we avoid controversy that way too.
Yes.
Seriously. It's not like we're picking on one business and allowing another. It should be
Right.
across the
We're
board.
doing it for music and the parts. It should be done down there realistically.
Yes, it's a good point to be brought up.
That is.
And the reason I say that is because now what happens when the next restaurant / bar has outside seating and they have people all over the place in the streets with alcohol? And it's never, and we didn't know anything, you know what I mean? They didn't come to us.
Well, yeah, it's a good point.
It is.
And just in case did we do it for Shamokin Warringer Heart? Folks,
I don't believe we did.
okay.
Yes, you did.
Somebody might want to throw a motion up then when we get done with this one, just to cover them for that.
I think it's best, Mayor, that we are all across the board.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, I don't think we should treat one, that all of them should be treated the same way. And if I may say so, Mayor, I think everybody wants to see business move forward and succeed. But you know as well as I do, the way things are going today, you don't want someone to come to a meeting and say, well, Scott or Charlie allowed this, we didn't allow the next one. Let's make it equal for everybody.
That's where I think it's gonna end
Yeah,
up.
exactly. That was a very good point, Scott. Because really,
Is that you allowed this one to do
Yep.
it, but you're not allowing me to do it.
yeah, you're right. You're right. And like you said, Mayor, maybe that should be every time we get a letter in it like that, you know, that we use, or bag the meters, however we can do it.
Yes,
If we bag the meters, they go, no, they must pay us. That's what I.
and these
say
are,
that,
these
Frank.
are the type of things people making these requests don't think about. It
Well,
should be a pretty
yeah.
standard for us, and we'll get used to it.
Yeah.
How do these requests come in?
Yeah.
Just like, do they just call or send a letter or?
Yeah.
Somebody usually shows up at the top phone line.
Drop it off.
Letter or email, usually.
Yeah.
And they just drop it off at the front desk.
Yes.
That's a good. We have a form that
Yeah.
covers all these things.
Oh, okay.
Just got some more today, some samples from other communities.
Oh, the food truck.
Eric is-
Okay, yeah, okay.
Eric is working.
Now I know what you're talking about.
No offense, something like Mr. Catino did for us. I mean, I know this is just on the bidding and all that.
Yeah.
Something like that, a nice form would be a
Yeah.
good thing.
Do you,
All five of us could see.
do you require meters?
Yeah.
Do you require alcohol permitted? Do you
And they
require?
can put right on it what they want, if they want us to, you know, give them the option.
A lot of communities,
That's a good
you know,
point.
we talked about this
Yeah.
before, do the first Friday. Where they run into this stuff all the time. What do they-
That's a good point.
You know, and, you know, going to the food truck thing with the peddler's permit.
Mhm.
When PP&L has people here, well, not PP&L, but these electric providers start knocking on doors to try and get people to change their electric provider, we make them get a peddler's permit.
Yeah, you're right. 'Cause we-
You make every bar, club, whatever, get a license for any coin operated machine at $75 a piece. You know, $75 per machine.
I think that would be a good idea, standard form, than just someone showing up and handing Bob a piece of paper saying the date and time.
Yes,
What's better for us, too. I mean, I'm not criticizing the man, I know he wants to better himself, which is great, but.
Same wording from the Rock the Block one, the specified event corridor.
Sure.
I just don't want to forget about it.
That'd be good. That's probably better terminology, really.
So can I request to, for,
We have to go back.
Smoke Warms My Heart on March 27th. Event corridor.
Properly moved.
Second.
Yeah, properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question for Shamoka Warms My Heart event? Roll call, Mr. Slavy.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Segal,
Yes.
Councilman Roten,
Yes.
Councilman Moreno,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes.
The motion carries 5 days.
We are gonna make your last month a challenge with all of this, all of these changes. I'm sorry.
But Mayor, really, that's.
I'm watching,
Drowned,
yeah,
so.
I'm watching. She's scrambling to keep these notes.
I've got cats everywhere. You need to decide.
Yeah, we're
what you
still
wanna
on the
do
covered
with
bridge.
They were asking from Saturday noon to 10, so the last Saturday. of
For
every month.
3 consecutive months on a trial basis. Alcohol, what was the part of it, Jennifer?
Open container
Open
ordinance.
container ordinance to be lifted for the event area only. If anybody wants to throw anything else in there. or-
Saturday from 12 to 10 for 3 months only with the suspension of the open container ordinance in the months of April, May, June, summer.
And only instead of quarter, you're gonna put just only in the event area.
Specified event corridor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay.
Properly moved.
Upside down.
Properly moved and seconded. What wording do you have there, Kim? So we'll make sure we're okay.
Request a motion to allow Covered Bridge, brew house, for a 3-month trial period of April, May, and June, the last Saturday of the month from noon till 10 p.m. And also suspending the open container ordinance in the specified event corridor.
Thank you.
Close?
Yep.
Okay.
Request that motion. Properly moved. Barb seconded. Okay, no changes to it. Any questions? A roll call.
Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Bowman,
Yes.
Councilman Ferraro,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
The motion carries 5 yes.
Anyone else for anything we forgot under new business? I know there was a couple of things that we had to change, alter, and we
Are
missed.
you changing the salary on the code secretary? Moving forward with that.
We-
What's the motion to hire a part-time code secretary at the rate of $8.50 an hour instead of 10? So you can visit.
Is there a motion we need? Or is that same as?
I think it died due to lack of a motion.
That was that.
Right, so, yeah. So if we're not making a motion, are we just letting things status quo?
That was the only question mark.
Okay, so you want me to do it at 8:50? Is that what you're, okay. Request a motion to hire a part-time code secretary at a rate of $8.50 per hour, 28 hours per week. Properly moved.
Are we posting the job or is it just going? Are we done? Question. Is the job posted? Is the job posted?
Now, what we did is we took those applications that we were,
Do we have a candidate as a
That's what I'm
candidate?
saying, yes.
yes,
You have a candidate,
yes,
okay? Put the name for it. Do you have the name?
Jamie Yarkis.
Okay.
Okay,
Anyone else on the question? No, there wasn't. Still have a motion laying with the question.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to hire a part-time code secretary at a rate of $8.50 per hour, 28 hours per week.
And I asked the question. That's all
Yes,
I
sir.
did.
You asked the question.
And Bob answered it.
And I have no second yet.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll second it.
Okay. All right. We have a motion and a second. Anyone on the question? Hearing none, a roll call, Mr. Slavy.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes, I think I know what I'm voting.
Councilwoman,
Do you need discussion
Am
before?
I voting on just the salary now or just?
No, you're voting
salary
on
and person?
You're voting on the name, that's what I asked. And so,
Charlie
Are we
asked-
attaching,
Charlie asked for a name.
are we attaching a name to the motion? I don't have one in the motion.
that's what I asked there.
He
You have
asked-
the name. I'm not gonna vote on something on the name. That's why I asked the name.
I did answer you, sir.
I know that one. And I said I was sufficient with that. And he asked, you gonna put that in motion? I'd say yes. Okay, so they got to vote now, right?
So there's a motion and a second.
We have a motion and a second to hire a part-time code secretary at a rate of $8.50 per hour, 28 hours per week. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else on the question?
Are we rewording the motion to be prospect specific?
I think we have to vote the motion that's on the floor, correct?
Just gonna spin your rules and do it all over again, but I could just, in the interest of saving some time, just add the name to that motion. As long as the person made the motion and seconded it agrees.
And that could be like that. I mean, this is.
Willing to amend your motion to include the name Jamie Yerkes? Willing to amend your second to include? Okay, properly moved and seconded. Any further questions? A roll call, Mr. Slavy.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Roten,
No.
Councilman Moreno,
No.
and Mayor Brown.
No.
Motion fails. 2 yeas, 3 nays.
That's just lovely. Anyone else with anything that needs to be added to the item list? Unfinished business, anyone? Boards and committees? Request a motion to appoint Gary Haddock to the zoning board for a 5-year term.
So move.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? Roll call.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Roten,
Yes.
Councilman Moreno,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes.
The motion carries 5 days.
Solicitor's report, sir. It's all yours.
This will be the first reading. Before that, there was an executive session held at the conclusion of the workshop last Wednesday for approximately 20 minutes for personnel purposes. And this is the first reading of ordinance 21-02, which is a vacant property registration ordinance. It's 5 pages long, very small print. Well, we just say the purpose of the ordinance is requiring the registration of all vacant buildings and the payment of registration fees to assist the city in protecting the public health, safety, and welfare of the citizens.
Motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2102, the vacant property ordinance, as read. So moved. Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? Roll call, sir.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Roten,
Yes.
Councilman Moreno,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes.
That motion carries 5 days.
There's resolution 21-02. Be it resolved that the city of Shamokin, located in Northumberland County, hereby requests a Keystone Communities facade grant that will not exceed the amount of $50,000 unless otherwise stated by the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development. Be it further resolved that the project associated with the Keystone Communities facade grant is anticipated to benefit locations within the Shamokin Business District. Be it further resolved that the city of Shamokin and any associated party agrees to adhere to the rules and regulations listed in the Keystone Communities Program Funding Guidelines as presented by the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development. Be it further resolved that the city of Shamokin does hereby designate Robert M. Slavy, city administrator, as the official to execute all documents and agreements between the city of Shamokin and the Department of Community and Economic Development to facilitate and assist in obtaining the requested grant. And this says, I, Robert M. Slavy, qualified city administrator of the city of Shamokin, hereby certify that the foregoing is a true and correct copy of the resolution duly adopted by a majority vote of the Shamokin City Council at a meeting held March 8, 2021, and said resolution has been recorded in the minutes of the city of Shamokin and remains in effect as of this date. That was it, Your Honor.
Anything need to be added to that, Betsy? Okay. All righty, motion to accept resolution 2102 facade grant.
So moved.
Properly moved and seconded. Anyone on the question? Roll call, sir.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yes.
Sidell,
Yes.
Councilman Roten,
Yes.
Moreno,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Motion carries 5 days.
That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're back to the area of citizens' comments. This is for items that were added to the agenda. Again, I know there's a lag. Please give us a few moments with everything, folks. Doreen is handling the comments, video, and taking notes all at the same time. Bear with us here. It's the new platform. We're getting used to it. Hopefully it works out well. Sure.
So I just wanted to remind everyone that today is International Women's Day. So to all the young girls out there who aren't sure what they want to do yet, and young women who are just getting started in their careers, to women who have been there every day in the trenches getting things done, and to the even braver women who've revamped and restarted their entire lives to chase new dreams, and all those trailblazers that were before the rest of us, celebrate yourselves today. Celebrate your achievements, celebrate the fact that your dedication, your perseverance, your hard work, and your contributions have made this world a better place. We've come a long way, and we still have so much further to go. But don't stop, don't give up, and don't be afraid to chase your dream, completely upend your life, and do things you never thought you could do. I'd also like to just take a minute to thank all the strong, wonderful, brave women in my life. I'm sitting in this chair today because of everything that you taught me and everything that I learned from watching you and the example you set for me. I never would have thought 5 years ago or 20 years ago that I'd be here today. So thank you.
Nothing relevant to new business. Not right now, but we are on a little bit of a lag. We could give it another.
Chief, do you have any public safety tips you'd like to express with the? Don't feel. Excuse me, man. Oh, you're fine. We're all here. You think that's enough, folks? Enough time for comments to come in and nothing flowing? Yeah. All right, folks, thank you for attending the City of Shamokin Council meeting. We appreciate your time. The workshop will be live streamed again through this platform. We'll have to make some decisions at that meeting as to whether the next city council meeting will be virtual or in person. We'll be updating you as this council makes decisions, and we can make sure everyone's safe through the meeting.
March 27th at noon. Mayor, reminder, March 27th at noon, Easter egg hunt at the Claude Kaler 2.
Oh, okay. Yes, with the our annual Easter egg hunt that we've had, sponsored by the Rescue Fire Company and the Moose. Mrs. Brown puts that together for us, and March 27th, Scott says at noontime, Claude Kaler 2. I don't know the ages, but there are divisions over there. Bring your children. It's on our Facebook page. Pre-registration is required for some certain gifts, prizes, I believe. Anything I'm missing, Dory?
No, I do not believe so.
Thank you for that, Scott. I appreciate it.
We asked for pre-registration so we can have good solid numbers as far as
There's also,
making sure we have enough.
we pull out those names to give out the bigger items too, as well with pre-registering your child. Yeah.
Okay. All right, folks, motion to adjourn? Properly moved. The meeting is adjourned at 4.